Viewers, okay, our today's lesson will be on construction of a square and a rectangle. You have previously constructed some special plane shapes, that is a triangle. You have already done that. But for today, we are going to do the construction of a square and a rectangle. But we know that the method for constructing a square and a rectangle are similar, because if you look at the properties of a square and you look at the properties of a rectangle, you will see that they are almost similar in terms of angles. The angles that are inside a square are all 90 degrees, which is the same as angles in a rectangle, which is also 90 degrees. So in this construction, we are going to use only two tools, that is a compass and a ruler. So let's look at an example. Our example here is, it says, using a ruler and a pair of compass to construct a square of sides 5 centimeters. We know in a square, all the sides are equal. So if we are to construct a square of 5 centimeters, it means all the sides will be 5 centimeters. And we also know that one property of a square is the angles that are formed in are at 90 degrees. And we have already done construction of perpendicular lines or construction of 90 degrees. So we will use our skills in those constructions to be able to construct this. Now, what are the steps that are required? Step 1. The sides of, we may pick any side of the square and call it AB. That AB has to be about 5 centimeters long. Then 2, we will have to construct at A an angle of 90 degrees. Then draw AD, which is also 5 centimeters long. Then step 3, at B, we also construct an angle of 90 degrees. Then draw BC to be 5 centimeters long. Now we will have to join C to D to form the square, which is ABCD. Now let's make a sketch first, because in construction of these plane shapes, we need to make a sketch of it first. That will give us a point when they are assessing us. So let's get a sketch first. What is the sketch? The sketch will look like this. We have a line. I'm just doing a rough sketch. We have a line. Call this line as AB. This line is AB. What is the next thing that you do? At A, we construct an angle of 90 degrees. To construct an angle of 90 degrees, we will have to be at A, then draw a sort of a semicircle. When we are there with the same radius, you mark points, arcs on the semicircle. When we do that, now each of this angle, if they are joined to A here, it will be 60. If you join this angle that is formed will also be 60. If it is this one, it will also be 60. But we don't need that. What we need is 90 degrees. So we bisect this. From this point to that point, we bisect that. That will give us the 30 degrees. So 30 plus 60 here, that is 90 degrees. So we bisect that. If we bisect that, you have your perpendicular bisector that way. So this angle that is here, that angle is 90. We will do the same thing at point B here. At point B also, we will have it as 90 degrees. So we construct 90 degrees at point B, like that. We mark this way, bisect, then draw our straight line that is also 90. So this angle is 90. Remember, a square, all the sides are equal. So this is 5 centimeters. We mark 5 centimeters here, 5 centimeters here. So this will be our C, and here will be our D. Then join C to D with a straight line. That is your sketch. You've got your square A, B, C, D. So that is the square we are supposed to construct. Now let us go and do the construction proper. Let us do the construction proper. What is the first thing that we are supposed to do? If you look at the steps, step 1, you are supposed to draw line AB measuring 5 centimeters. We take our ruler and draw a line that is 5 centimeters long. And please, when we are constructing, we use what we call faint lines or construction lines. They are not supposed to be thick. So if you look at here, I am choosing this one. When you are drawing using your pencil, let them not be as thick as the others that are here. So we use faint lines. Okay, I have my first arm or first side of the square that I am supposed to construct. So I will mark any point on it. I've marked any point on it and I'm going to call it A. Now with this point A, I am supposed to measure a length of 5 centimeters. In this way, I can do it using a compass. I can do it using this ruler straight away. Let's use the ruler to do it. I take my ruler. That is my ruler. So I have the centimeter readings here. So I will take this and measure 5 centimeters. Let's look at the reading. If you look at it, the point A is at 0. I am supposed to have 5 centimeters. So I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where the 5th mark is, that is where I marked and call it at this point here. This point here, that is 5 centimeters. So this is my point B. This is my point B. Then we go back to the steps again. Look at the steps. Step 2 says, at A, construct an angle of 90 degrees. Then draw AD 5 centimeters long. We go back to the construction. At point A, I am supposed to construct 90 degrees there. How do I do it? I take my compass. At this point, that's my compass. I'll put the compass point at A. Open to a convenient radius and draw an arc. Maybe this radius is convenient for me. I am going to draw an arc. Now I draw an arc that way with the same radius. I don't have to change it. The arc that I have just drawn have intersected the line AB at a point. You put the compass point at that point. You put the compass point at the point of intersection of the arc and the line A. You draw another arc. Move the compass again. Now this arc that I have just drawn, if I draw a straight line from A through that point of intersection, that will be 60, but I don't need that. What I need is 90 degrees. So I'll put the compass point at that point of intersection here, and then draw another arc with the same radius. It is not changing. With the same radius, I draw another arc that way. Now what do I have? I have cut the first arc that I have drawn into 2 parts. This is part 1, which if you draw a straight line, you get 60 degrees. If I draw a point through this, so this part is 60, this part is 60, that is 120. But I don't need that. What I need is 90. So I am supposed to bisect this point and that point. Then that will give me my 90. I take my compass, put it at the point of intersection here. At that point of intersection, I am supposed to draw another arc. Open to a convenient radius, maybe this is convenient for me, I draw another arc. I'm going to draw another arc. I have drawn another arc that way. With the same radius, come to this point here. Draw another arc to intersect with the first one you have drawn up. Now, what have we just done? We have bisected these two lines. So, I'm going to draw a straight line through this point to make it to point A. I take my ruler. Okay, you can see that. Now I am going to draw a straight line through that point of intersection to point A. We have done that. Now we have drawn a straight line. That line is perpendicular to line AB. The line we have just drawn is perpendicular to line AB. Now what next? Let's go back to the steps. It says, look at step 2. Step 2 says at A, construct an angle of 90 degrees, which we have just done, and then draw AD equals to 5 centimeter long. Now we have constructed our 90 degrees. So from A here to a point on the line should be 5 centimeter. We take our ruler and measure 5 centimeters. We take our ruler and measure 5 centimeters. 5 centimeter is here. That point is 5 centimeters. So that point, we call it D. What do we do again? We do the same thing. If you look at the step, now step 3. Step 3 says, go to point B and construct another angle of 90 degrees. Then draw BC equals to 5 centimeter long. So we will do the same at point B. Take our compass. Take our compass, B at point B. You put the compass point at B, open to a convenient radius, and a convenient radius you have to put the compass point at B, exactly at B. Good. Then draw arcs on the AB line. I draw an arc that way, then turn to the other side with the same radius, I don't change it, I draw another arc. So, what we have just done, the way I constructed 90 degrees at point A is different from the way I am constructing it at point B. These are different methods. So now we will be at this second point that we have just drawn, put the compass point at the point of intersection of the arc on the line AB, first arc there. With a convenient radius, and your radius in this case should be at least more than half of this point, let me call that C, and call this, sorry, let me call it L, and call this one M. The radius of the compass should be more than half LM. Then you draw an arc up. I draw an arc up. I draw an arc up. You can see that. With the same radius, I go to point M. I go to point M to draw another arc. You can see that. So these two arcs have intersected somewhere. That point of intersection will be joined to B with a straight line. I take my ruler and then join that point of intersection to point B. I join that point of intersection to point B. You can see I have joined that point of intersection to point B. Now what do? We have constructed 90 degrees there. Then B to C will also be 5 centimeters. So we take our ruler and mark 5 centimeters on that line. 5 centimeters on that line. You can see it is 5 centimeters. So we mark a point there. AD should be 5 centimeters. AD is 5 centimeter instead of this one. Okay? So now we measure BC also 5 centimeters. That is that point. BC is 5 centimeters. So what we do is we join C to D or D to C. Take your ruler. D with our construction lines. Okay. Now let's look at it. If you look at the square, D, C, A, B, or A, B, C, D is the required square that we are supposed to construct. Each of the sides is 5 centimeter. Each of the sides is 5 centimeter. This is 5 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 5 centimeter. Each of them is 5 centimeters. That is the construction that is required. What do? First measure a line on the base of the page or whatever you are using to do the construction. Mark 2 points on it. A, measure 5 centimeter using your ruler and mark to get B. Then you construct an angle of 90 degrees at B. Then you mark 5 centimeter on that. So it becomes AD equals to 5 centimeters. At point B also construct an angle of 90 degrees. Then mark a point on it C, which is equals to 5 centimeter. Then join D to C. The square ABCD is what is required to be constructed. So this is the required construction of the square, which is 5 centimeter long. This mark here Now look at it. You can see I have made the square, the lines of the square to be thick. This is very important. In your construction, these construction lines must be visible, and what you are required to construct must also be visible, as it is here. Now we move on. What is the next thing that we are supposed to do? Now, activity 2. It says, using a ruler and a pair of compasses only, construct a square with a length of side AB. In this case here, we are going to construct a square that is of length AB. How much is that? We don't know, but we are just given the line segment AB. So that means we have to use our compass to copy the distance AB and use the same processes we have used before, or the same steps we have used before. How do we copy? Now we take our compass. Good. So we put the compass point at A to copy the line AB. We put the compass point at A. Open to B. Open to the point B. So now, this is the required length of side of this square. That is what we take and copy on a line that we are going to draw very soon. So we take this, make sure you don't change this line, because if you miss it here, you will not get it accurately. So take your compass and take it down. Now we try to measure this distance. You can see it is about 6.56 centimeters. It is about 6.56 centimeters. That's what we take. Now the distance AB, it was not given to us. It was just the line that was given. So we measured, it is 6.56 centimeters. That is what we use to do our construction. Now looking at it here, what's the first thing that we do? The first thing we do is we draw a line. And that line should be construction lines, please. Always use construction lines, please. Now, we draw a straight line like that. What is the distance? The distance is 6.56 centimeters. 6.56 centimeters. That is what we are supposed to use as the length of side of the square. So we mark a point here, call that A, then take our compass and our ruler and measure 6.56 centimeters. See where the 0 is? Open it to 6.56 centimeters. You can see it there. With this distance, take your compass point and put it at A, then you mark on the straight line you have drawn. You mark an arc there. That distance is the one we are supposed to have here. This distance is what we have just copied. So we move on. Now this point will be called point B. This point is point B. We have it as AB. Now this length, which is 6.56 centimeter, is what we are going to have on all the sides of the required square. What do we do? The process we have said is simple. The first thing is you draw an angle of 90 at A, another angle of 90 at B. So we draw an angle of 90 at A. How do we do that? It's a simple process. We go to point A, take the compass and mark 2 points on it. Mark 2 points on that line. Call this line, these 2 points as L and M. With L as center and a convenient radius, always your point of the compass should be at the point of intersection of the 2 lines. So with a convenient radius, I am going to draw an arc up just above A, because that is where I want my line to be. So I draw an arc. Sorry, this is very thick. I have to use construction lines always. You can see I draw an arc there. With the same radius, I go to M. Put the compass point at M and then draw another arc. With the same radius at M, draw another arc. I have drawn another arc. So the point of intersection of the 2 arcs is what is going to be joined to point A. The angle that will be formed there will be 90 degrees. So I take my ruler. And then draw. I take my ruler, join that point of intersection to point A. Okay? I still need my construction lines. I draw a straight line. Okay? That line and line AB are perpendicular. The angle so formed is 90 degrees. Now, what is the length of the square? The length of the square what we have copied is 6.56 centimeters. That's what we take and mark on this line we have just drawn. So we measure 5.68, 6.56 centimeters. You can see that. I'll open this to 6.56 centimeters. That distance is 6.56 centimeters. So I move that, use my compass and put it at point A. Then I'll draw an arc to cut. Oh, sorry, it has moved. So I'll have to take that again. .56. So I take that, put that here. Then what do? I draw an arc. Now you can see that arc here is 6.56 centimeters. Then this point will be point D. That point will be point D. What is the next thing that we are supposed to do? Now we are going to construct another 90 degrees at point B. The same processes that we have done in A, we put our compass point at B, put the compass point at B, open to a convenient radius, draw an arc this way and another arc this way. Call them T and let's say P. Now with T and P as centers, you open to a convenient radius, draw an arc upwards. Draw an arc upwards. I have drawn an arc. Come to P with the same radius. Don't change that radius. Draw another arc to intersect with the first one you have just drawn. Now you can see those two arcs are intersecting somewhere. That point of intersection is what you join to point B with your ruler. You join the point of intersection there with our ruler. I'm still going to use my construction lines. Okay, what do? We have just constructed an angle of 90 degrees at point B. Then we can take our ruler from here and measure 6.56 centimeters. This is 6.56 is here. 6.56 there. Then this point here, that point there is point C. Now, you can see we've already got three sides of the square. We have got AB, we have got BC, and we have also got AD. To make it a square, we join the distance D to C to complete it. So, join C to D. Okay, so that is the square. That is the square ABCD. We have just constructed 90 degrees at A and B with the same length of AB on all the four sides. So the required square is ABCD. Each of the angles there is 90 degrees. And now you need to take your ruler back and make the required square to have at least a thicker line as compared to the construction lines you were using. You have that. Take the outline of the square. That is the required square we are supposed to have constructed. So each of the sides there is 6.56 centimeter and each of the angles is 90 degrees. We move on. What is the third activity? Now we are at activity 3. Now look at it. It says, using a ruler and a pair of compasses only, construct a rectangle ABCD such that AB is 6 centimeter and BA is 4 centimeters. Remember, a rectangle has two sides opposite which are equal in length. The opposite sides of a rectangle are equal in length. But for a square, all the sides are equal. So, what are the steps that are required? Step 1. What we do is draw line BC to be equal to 6 centimeters as one of the sides of the rectangle. Then step 2, at the point B, you construct an angle of 90 degrees. With the compass point at B and a radius of 4 centimeters, draw an arc to cut the line XB and label it A. Then step 4, with A as center and a radius of 6 centimeters, draw an arc above and towards the side of point C. Step 5, with C as center and a radius of 4 centimeters, draw an arc which meets the first arc at D. Then join AD and CD. This ABCD is the required rectangle that we are supposed to construct. So you can see we want to do the sketch. Let's do the sketch here. Always your sketch of what you are supposed to do should be somewhere on top. Now, the first thing we are told to do is to draw the first side. This is a bit thick. I'm going to make a sketch. I draw that straight line. This is rough work now. I'm not using any compass. I'm not using any ruler. So I mark 2 points on it. I will mark 2 points on it. This point I will call it A, and this point I will call it B. What am I supposed to do? At point A, I'm going to construct 90 degrees. I do the construction of 90 degrees here. Then this point will be joined to A. Now from A to D, I'll mark 4 centimeters. Remember we are told that this one is 6 centimeters, that's AB is 6 centimeters. At point B also, I will construct 90 degrees. When I construct 90 degrees there, join that point of intersection to B. So this point is also going to be 4 centimeters, B to C. I mark that point and call it C. This is also 4 centimeters. I join BC and then AD. This point is D. Then join these 2 points. That is your required rectangle. We have done this without the ruler and the compass. And you need to do that to make a sketch. It is very important in this exercise. So we go and do the construction proper using our ruler and our compass. I take my compass. You can see my compass is here. I'll bring my ruler also. My ruler is here waiting for me. Now what do we do first? We are supposed to draw a line AB. And what is the length of the line AB? It is 6 centimeters. And I draw a straight line which is 6 centimeters long. I have drawn a line. That's my line. Now I can take my ruler. I take my ruler. Now, this straight line, one of the points should be marked, and that point will be referred to as A. I mark a point on it here and call it A. Now, from A towards that end, I need to have 6 centimeters. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mark a point there. So this point here is my point B, and it is 6 centimeter long. Now, what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to construct at point A 90 degrees. At point A, we construct 90 degrees, and at point B, we also construct 90 degrees. I take my compass. Remember, we had different ways of constructing 90 degrees. I'm going to use any of them, and the one that I'm going to use is to draw an arc and cut it into 2 equal parts and then bisect. So I open my compass to a convenient radius and I draw an arc from B end to that way. I'm going to draw an arc this way. Okay? Take note, with the same radius, don't change your radius, mark 2 points on the arc you have drawn, starting from the point of intersection of the arc with line AB. Don't change the radius of your compass. So at this point we can call it X. We call that point X. At that X, we put the compass point there and then draw another arc. That arc, with that arc and the first arc you have drawn their intersection, you put the same radius there, the same radius of the compass, you draw another arc. You can see they have intersected somewhere. So I can, now what we are supposed to do is to bisect these two, the points of intersection of the 2 arcs that we have got. So with the same compass radius or a convenient radius, you put your compass point at one of the points of intersection of the 2 arcs. I want to open to a convenient radius that is convenient for me, and then I will draw an arc above. I draw an arc above that way. Okay, I have drawn an arc. I don't change my radius. That radius has to be kept. Then go to the other point of intersection, the same radius, don't change it, draw another arc to intersect the first one you have drawn above. I have just done that. You can see the point of intersection of this arc here. Okay, that point of intersection, I am going to join it to point A using my ruler. Okay, I join that point to point A, the point of intersection to point A. I've done that. Now, what do? We have to mark a point on that straight line which will be equal to 4 centimeters, because that is the other side of the rectangle that we are supposed to construct. So we take our ruler, measure 4 centimeters. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we mark a point 4 centimeter there. That point is 4 centimeters. That point is 4 centimeters, and we will call this point as point D. Go to point B again, construct 90 degrees using your compass. I go to that point B. I'm going to construct 90 degrees there. I'm going to construct 90 degrees at point B. This time I want to mark points on the line before I construct my 90 degrees. I mark a point here. With the same radius, I mark another point here. I draw another arc there. So these 2 points of intersection on the line AB, I can call them T and let's say Y. Okay? So with T as center and a radius which is at least more than half Ty. With T as center and a radius which is at least more than half Ty, I draw an arc up. I'm going to draw another arc. I have done that with the same radius and Y as the center. The same radius and Y as the center. I draw another arc to intersect with the first one we have drawn. That point of intersection will be joined to point B with a straight line. That point of intersection will be joined to point B with a straight line. Okay, we join that point of intersection with a straight line. Now, at point B also, we have constructed an angle of 90 degrees. What is the length between B and C? It is supposed to be also 4 centimeters because the opposite sides of a rectangle are equal. So we measure 4 centimeters from point B upwards. That point here there is 4 centimeters. So we mark it off. This is our point C. Then what are we supposed to do? Now we've already got again 3 sides of the rectangle. We have AB, we have BC, and we have AD. Then we are going to join D to C to complete the rectangle. We join D to C with a straight line to complete the construction. You can now see we've got A, B, C, D as the required rectangle. Then get the outline of the required rectangle, making those lines a bit thicker than the construction lines. So the required rectangle is ABCD. That is the required construction of a rectangle ABC such that AB is 6 centimeter and AD is 4 centimeter. The length is 6 centimeters and the breadth is 4 centimeters. So that's the construction we have just done. We move. So you can see, as the question is asking, the question in the beginning says, construct a rectangle ABCD such that BC is 6 centimeter and BA is 4 centimeter. The length is 6 centimeters and the breadth is 4 centimeters. Of today's lesson. So that is the end of today's lesson on the construction of square and a rectangle.